Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, The Town Watch. My name is Josh Town. Thank you for stopping by today. In this video, we're doing a full review of an independent brand called Sablier. They're based here in the United States, but they make Swiss-made watches. And this watch is a one-of-a-kind watch. There's a unique feature with this piece that is unlike any other watch that is on the market today. And I think it's pretty cool. I think you might think it's pretty cool as well, so I'm excited to show it to you in today's video. Let's jump in. All right, so here we are. This is the Sablier Grand Cru 2, and this is the champagne dial. Let's jump right into the specs and features of this watch. The movement that they're using here is the ETA 2892-A2. We'll talk about that movement in more detail in a moment. The crystal is a concave sapphire crystal with AR on both sides, so that is the unique feature of this watch, is that concave crystal, but also the dial and handset as well. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Also, case material is stainless steel. Case diameter is 43.8 millimeters. Case thickness is 12 millimeters. Lug to lug distance is 52.2 millimeters. Lug width is 22 millimeters. The band material here is a genuine leather, and this one has that cork look to it. Water resistance is 50 meters. The weight is 116 grams, and the MSRP price of this watch is $2,795. So there is an open case back here, and there's sapphire crystal on both sides, so that is something great to see. And you can see that ETA 2892-A2 movement there with a beautiful rotor and branded with Sablier. This is a 21 joule movement. Power reserve is 42 hours. Vibrations per hour 28,800, and it is a hacking and a hand winding movement. So you might not be familiar with Sablier or Sablier. I know I'm pronouncing the name wrong because it comes from French. And so if it's a French word, you can be sure that I'll pronounce it wrong. But the word actually means hourglass. So Sablier comes from the word that means hourglass. And if you look at their logo, you can see an hourglass inside of what looks like an eye shape. And that is what Sablier means. The company was founded in 2010 in Princeton, New Jersey by K.C. Wu, who was a medical device engineer. And so this company has been founded a number of years ago, over a decade ago, and now they are a Swiss-made company. They used to be made right here in the United States, if I remember correctly. But they've moved their operations over to Switzerland. But independent brand based in the United States, and they're making some quality pieces. I can tell you that from just having this watch for a little bit of time. I love the uniqueness of this piece. These are some of my initial thoughts. I love that uniqueness. I can tell you that this is a well-finished piece. It is a large watch. They do make some ladies sizes or some more unisex sizes for people who might have smaller wrists like mine in a 39 millimeter, but this one with that over 43 millimeter diameter is too big for me in my opinion, but do keep that in mind that they do make some other models also. This watch is inspired by wine. You might have caught on to that just by looking at it. You can see there are a lot of nods to the wine culture that is out there. You know, with this cork strap, you get a corkscrew second hand here as well. And then even the case shape of this watch, the owner was telling me that it is shaped like a wine glass. And so there's a lot of nods to the wine culture that is out there. The case here is cut from a single piece of surgical grade stainless steel and goes through 120 processes to get it to its finished form that you see right here. And the finishing, the mirror polishing all over this watch is really, really good. You can see me very clearly there in that reflection, but really, really quality finishing here. The watch sits nicely on the wrist, and that is due to the case back, really. It sits right down into the case, the way they screw it in there and how flat it is. And there's no real protrusion with the crystal that is there either. And so because of that, it sits really, really nicely. The crown here is unsigned. It is a screw down crown. I measured it in to be about 6.8 millimeters. The knurling on it is not very aggressive, and so I did find that it was a little bit difficult to operate and to use. So keep that in mind. It does also have its own concave look to it right here, which mirrors the crystal. I thought that was a cool touch to see. And it is at the roughly 2 o'clock position, and the owner was telling me that they did that to keep it from digging into your wrist, as it can do for some people. So the dial on this watch, they say the only watch in the world with a concave crystal, dial, and hands. So there is an actual US patent on the technology that they're using with this crystal and the dial and the hands. So very, very cool, very, very unique. And they do say that there are benefits for having a concave crystal. That was one of my initial thoughts when I unboxed this watch. I was thinking to myself, okay, it has a concave crystal, that's pretty cool and unique, but what's the point? So they share some benefits. One of them is that there's no glare when you look down on this watch. When you look at it, you see the dial, and it's clear, a view with no glare at all. And so I can tell you that that's pretty much the fact. There's no real distortion, no real glare as you look down upon this watch. At certain angles, you wouldn't even see that there is a crystal there. So I can vouch for that benefit. And then they also give the benefit of better scratch resistance because it is actually going down into the watch. It's not sitting and protruding out of the watch, so it's less likely to get dinged up and scratched or damaged. The color here of this particular model is the champagne dial color. The indices are applied and have a nice mirror finish to them. The handset also has a mirror finish just like the indices, and you can see that that red second hand is there, again shaped like a corkscrew. There is a date window between the 4 and the 5 position with a white date wheel. And there is a little bit of lume on this watch too. They have these lume pips around the outside of the dial, as you can see. And so we'll get a lume shot right now. All right, here's a shot of the lume. I charged it up just briefly. I think some lume is better than no lume, but I'm baffled why there is no lume on the minute hand. So if you were to read this watch at night, you could only tell what hour it is because there's only lume on the hour hand. Not sure why that's the case, but that's what we have here. So the strap on this watch I think is really cool and unique. I think it fits the theme of this watch perfectly, and I think it really goes well with that cream color, champagne color dial that we have on this particular model. But do keep in mind that they do also make other strap options, and you can look at those on their website. One little issue that I had here was not enough points of adjustment. I had it on the last hole and it was still a little bit loose for my 6.5-inch wrist, so keep that in mind. They do have this nice deployant butterfly clasp here that they give you that is signed with their logo and is polished nicely like the rest of the case. They also give you quick release spring bars, which I always think is a plus. So this is the Sablier Grand Cru 2. I'm going to jump back in front of the camera and share some final thoughts. As I mentioned in this review, I think this is a really cool and unique piece, just considering the fact that there is no other watch in the world that has that concave crystal and dial and hands. Just makes it such an awesome piece for that fact. And it is a well-made watch. It is really a quality piece. The finishing here, the attention to detail, the open case back, and just how they built everything, it is solid, and there's no quality control issues that I've found with this piece. So they did a good job in that category. But for me, at the end of the day, personally, this watch is not for me. I'm not drawn to a watch like this. I'm not into wine and that type of thing. So that theme doesn't really work with me, but it might for you, and you might really fall in love with a piece like this. So I'm happy to show you watches that even I might not be personally drawn to, but I know someone out there might be. So there will be links to this company down in the description below. If you are one of those people who's interested in it, you can go there and find all the information about how you can purchase a watch like this. But I want to hear what you think of this piece down in the comments below. Do you like it? Is there things that you say I don't like about the watch? Share all those things down in the comments. I'd love to interact with you there. And if you liked this video today, please hit that like button. Let us know that you liked it by smashing that like button. We really appreciate it very much, and it helps out the channel. So thank you. And thanks again for tuning in to The Town Watch. We'll see you next time.